Breaking the Code with Gabriella tells the story of a young girl who overcomes gender stereotypes in robotics, cementing herself as a role model for young women. The book includes science and engineering information, such as the design process and Java tutorials. As part of our initiative to empower young girls to pursue their interests in STEM, we are running the Breaking the Code with Gabriella Trailblazers in STEM speaker series, which explores the careers of women in science, technology, engineering, and math. The series aims to dispel gender stereotypes and aid young students in getting advice on how to pursue their own passions. Today, I'm here with Sonia Nicoletti, who is currently pursuing her master's in computer science. She has a degree in computer science for management from the University of Bologna and is active on social media, sharing programming information with her audience. Now, I'll let you tell me a little bit more about yourself, anything about your journey in STEM, your future goals, and your current interests that you think are notable.
Yeah, of course. So, as you said, my name is Sonia Nicoletti, and I'm currently studying computer science. I'm in my master's degree at the University of Bologna. And I started my journey in STEM, I guess, in a bit of an unconventional way because I never had any real programming experience before starting to study computer science. So when I applied for university for my bachelor's in computer science, it was mostly random because I knew I wanted to do something that was related to STEM. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I always thought that computers, like how they work, it was really interesting. And I was honestly just curious to learn more about it. And then as the time went on and I kept studying computer science and learning more about programming and coding, I really fell in love with this subject. And now I'm really, really passionate about it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much how it started. Then of course, like I decided to continue with my master's degree, which also allowed me to do like two study abroad experiences, one in the US, one in Taiwan. So I really enjoyed my academic journey so far.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. I know a lot of times, it kind of just feels like kind of fate in a sense, like being able to do a field that you're so passionate about, and being able to also study abroad. That's super interesting. So you're currently, like you said, you're pursuing your master's degree in computer science. Um, Kind of building off of that, what inspired you to pursue your master's rather than going to industry right after university?
Well, I think there's a bit of maybe a cultural difference as well, because in Italy, and I would say in Europe in general, it's pretty common to do your master's degree after your bachelor's degree, since it's only 3 years, the bachelor. So I think it's to have a more like complete academic journey, it's better to also do your master's. But other than this, I just genuinely like really like the subject, and I like after my bachelor, I didn't really have an idea of what exactly I wanted to do in computer science, since there are so many different paths you can take. You can go into like just software engineering, like mobile apps, websites, you can do data science, you can do cybersecurity, you can do so many things. And I was kind of hoping that by the end of my bachelor, I would know what I want to do, but turns out I didn't know still. And since I really like studying anyways, I was like, let's go and let's continue with my master's. And now I'm also happy I chose to continue my master's because I'm thinking about doing a PhD after my master's degree. And therefore, it's kind of like a necessary step to do your master's before doing a PhD.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. I know in the US it's not all too common to get a master's. I mean, I know a fair share of people do it, but most people do go into the industry. So I guess that's kind of why I posed the question.
Yeah.
You mentioned like a lot of different subfields of computer science, like cybersecurity, data science, I know machine learning now. Which one are you specifically interested in?
So I really like software engineering in general. My degree is specialized in computer science for management, which is a bit of an intersection between management and software engineering. So you could like become a project manager, consultant, this kind of roles. And that's what I really like. Now, I'm interested in a lot of things, like also machine learning is very interesting. And right now I'm doing my thesis on the possible application of large language models, kind of like ChatGPT that we know, to the software engineering process. So how can these kind of models help in creating and building a software and managing a team of developers?
Yeah, that sounds super cool. So for young students who might want to get into programming or, have their career track be in computer science, what advice would you give to them?
Well, I think my main advice would be to try and ask questions when you don't know things, because for me it was really hard in the beginning when I started computer science, when I started learning how to program in my bachelor's degree, because I didn't have any prior knowledge and I saw people like students around me who did know some things, and so I kind of felt like I was behind, like I just started but I was already behind. So my suggestion, my advice is to ask people who know more than you to try and help you, because if you try and learn programming, you will soon realize that there's at some point you will have a certain switch where you actually understand what you're doing. So like, for example, in the beginning, if the professor asks you, oh, how do you write some code to print the elements in an array from the end till the beginning, and you kind of have to like think about like how are you going to do it. And in the beginning, I had no clue, so I was kind of just copying what my classmates were doing. And then at some point you actually understand what it means to iterate through an array, what are for loops, if, else, and all these things. And so if you struggle in the beginning understanding these basic concepts, I think it's pretty normal. And what I recommend is like just pair with someone who knows a bit more than you. And the same goes like the other way. If you're someone who knows a bit more, then pair with someone who knows a bit less, so you can also teach them. And by teaching, you also learn more. So it's always a good thing. And then, yeah, I think mostly this, and then also don't be afraid of learning new things, because we know that technology like programming, computer science is a field that is always changing, always evolving. And I guess that scares some people, because obviously you think maybe this year I'm learning this JavaScript framework, and then next year there's a new JavaScript framework and I need to learn something new. But there are some things that are always true, like some knowledge that you will always keep. And so yeah, just don't be afraid of like keep learning, keep improving, and yeah.
Yeah, that sounds definitely some great advice. I know a lot of times, even for myself, asking questions, um, even if they seem like very like underdeveloped, but asking questions to someone who will help you can definitely help you get to that like eureka moment where you finally understand it.
Mhm.
So, kind of following up on that, as a woman in a male-dominated field, computer science, what challenges would you say you have faced, and how have you overcome them?
So I think I am quite lucky, because I don't feel like I had many challenges related to the fact that I am a woman in STEM in real life, like in real life. Um, I feel like every time, like I was always surrounded by people who are like very open-minded, very fair. On the other hand, since you mentioned it before, I do have a TikTok account, so I make videos online. And online, it's a different story, because there's often people who like comment under your videos and say very mean and disrespectful things, sometimes even like very misogynistic things. And it's kind of like it's a bit hard to deal with it, but most of the time you can choose to like ignore it or respond or like try to educate people. Yeah, like my main advice is like try not to um, let the fact that you're a woman in STEM like make you feel less than other people. Like don't think of yourself as less than others just because you're a woman. Of course, like that's very basic advice, but like try to always speak up when something happens. Like if somebody has like is behaving in a way and treating you in a way differently because you're a woman, like always speak up and talk about it. Maybe also try and make other friends with other women, so you can kind of have a group. Yeah, I guess that's my advice.
Yeah, that's some great advice. For any person that might be feeling marginalized, in their field of study, which no one should ever. Having that community and support network is super important. So you're active on social media and you share programming information and jokes. So what propelled you to start this account and what do you hope to achieve?
So I started this account again a bit randomly just because I wanted to make some funny videos. Like I don't know, I was one of those people who said no, TikTok is for young people. I can't use TikTok, I'm too old. And then I downloaded it and I really enjoyed watching TikToks. And while I was watching like all the trends, the funny skits, etc., I was thinking I have so many ideas of like funny videos I could make that are related to programming and computer science. And so I was like, nobody is really making them, not many people are, so why don't I try and make them? And turns out a lot of people enjoyed them, so that kind of became my hobby. And also because I really like in the future I would really like to build a community of like worldwide people who share like same similar experiences in the world of computer science, and we can exchange different points of views. Um, yeah, mostly to create just a community of people where they can talk to each other and share stories.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a amazing goal, especially kind of like building off the previous question, needing to have a good community and a support network when things might get tough, especially in a hard field of study like computer science. So then finally, if there was any piece of career-related advice you could give to your middle school self or maybe current middle schoolers, what would it be?
I think it would be to explore your passions, and especially like things that maybe are not targeted for you. For example, computer science is usually not targeted towards young girls. And so I'm like, why is that? Like just explore whatever you think it may interest you, and be curious. Don't be afraid of like learning new things. Yeah, just explore.
Yeah, that's definitely some good life advice. Being able to go out of your comfort zone,
Yes.
it's definitely super valuable and can lead you to many new things that you might really enjoy. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.